if you want to kind of understand what's going on in that business, and if you're an attorney who doesn't fully understand how to interpret, because if it's going to drive the cost of the case way up, you have to evaluate is it something your client can afford? So, one of the questions that comes up is when should a family law firm bring an accountant into a divorce case? Well, what I would say is typically when you start looking at more complex kind of financial situations. Let's say if one of the parties to the divorce owns a business. Well, if you want to kind of understand what's going on in that business, and if you're an attorney who doesn't fully understand how to interpret profit and loss statements or balance sheets or cash flow statements, you may need an accountant to kind of help break some of that down. But you also have situations where, let's say, if there are, cryptocurrencies or there are stock options or complex kind of retirement plans involved, you may need someone who understands how to read the financial data to help you navigate, okay, here's what's going on in this situation, because depending on what is happening with the financials of those complex situations, it may impact your strategy or your legal advice to your client. So, whenever there are complex financial situations, typically involving, let's say, a business or valuation of stocks or retirement plans, those tend to be great opportunities to bring in a person who's more familiar with those things to help you understand it. Now, you also have to evaluate, like, how much is this going to increase the cost of the case? Because if it's going to drive the cost of the case way up, you have to evaluate is it something your client can afford? And if your client can't afford it, then as an attorney, you're going to have to make a judgment call on what makes the most sense for you to be able to represent your client to the best of your ability. And maybe that means you might have to dig into the numbers a little bit, or maybe that means you may have to reach out to a client, to an accountant, to get some guidance for you to be able to do the research. But you do want to make sure that you are considering not only what the data that you need to go through, but also consider, does it make sense to bring in an accountant based on the case that you are supporting? Hey, thanks for tuning into the Family Law Firm Finance Show. At the end of the day, we make finance less complicated so you can build a more profitable law firm. If this was helpful for you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and follow us for more great content.